Mayfair Witches is a supernatural drama based on Anne Rice's novel trilogy, Lives of the Mayfair Witches. The plot revolves around a neurosurgeon, Dr. Rowan Fielding, who learns she is the heiress to the powerful Mayfair dynasty of witches. Meanwhile, Cyprian Grieve, an empath and Talamasca agent, is assigned to her, vowing to protect her even before meeting her. The series originally comes from Anne Rice, the mind behind Interview with the Vampire, which has also recently been adapted into a similar television series. Thanks to this, fans are wondering if a crossover between the two series is on the horizon. In fact, there have already been hints of characters in one series being aware of the other. Similarly, the characters' counterparts in the original books have had important interactions and developments. Of course, with changes made to the source material, time will tell how these connections play out. There have already been a few moments of connection between the series. As they are both AMC series based on the works of Anne Rice, the shows are considered part of the Immortal Universe. Both series also notably take place in New Orleans, though not during the same time periods. However, the shows have already set up a few possible crossover events. Interview with the Vampire actually alludes to Mayfair Witches as early as the first episode. Grace de Pointe du Lac gets upset when her brother Paul alludes to the tradition of jumping the broom at her wedding. Paul adds that there's plenty of brooms down the street at the Mayfair sisters' home, a reference to the witches. For its part, Mayfair Witches has also alluded to vampires appearing in the series in its second season, as a few can be seen in the season's trailer. In addition to a female vampire who shows up hissing at Cyprian, viewers are treated to a brief appearance from Felix, a fledgling vampire who also showed up in Interview with the Vampire. There's already been talk about a full-blown crossover. Mark Johnson, who serves as an executive producer on both shows, also mentioned there were discussions of a crossover during AMC's Television Critics Association press tour back in 2013. As Johnson noted, "You'll see a lot of connections, both in terms of characters and terms of geography. I guess almost like Easter eggs. We very much want to tie the worlds together in a way that makes sense." However, Johnson noted that the series are not identical, adding, "Of course, they're completely separate on the one hand, but thematically and in terms of how Anne Rice deals with character, we want to find a way to have that flow throughout the various shows." Johnson isn't the only person working on the show to have shown interest in vampires appearing. According to Screen Rant, Alexandra Daddario, who plays Rowan in the series, also commented that she would be down for vampires, while at the Mayfair Witches panel for San Diego Comic-Con, Lestat and the Mayfair Witches also interact in the books. Notably, in Blood Canticle, Lestat falls in love with Rowan, who returns his feelings, even asking him to transform her into a vampire. Ultimately, however, he refuses, believing she is too important to the Mayfair family and because she is already married. Notably, her husband from the books, Michael, was combined with another character, Aaron, to create Cyprian for the AMC series. The first book to see the two worlds meet was Merrick, in which Louis de Pointe du Lac is haunted by the spirit of Claudia and turns to the title character, Merrick Mayfair, a witch and a relative of Rowan's. As the story goes on, it's revealed that Merrick is using her powers to draw the vampires to her in the hopes of transforming into a vampire herself. The connections continue within Blackwood Farm, which follows Tarquin Blackwood. Through the events of the book, he discovers he is connected to the Mayfair Witches and is eventually turned into a vampire. He also falls in love with Mona Mayfair, who is being treated by Rowan. After being attacked by the spirit of his twin brother, Tarquin enlists the aid of Lestat, who in turn enlists Merrick. Mayfair Witches and Interview with the Vampire are both available to stream on AMC+.